Hello, board, and welcome to the Pastoral video update for our board meeting for August the 14th. Want to let you know a couple things on the personal side and then three key things on the ministry side. On the personal level, Jessica and I and our crew have come back from vacation. We had a great time with some family in Kentucky and great time with some family in Florida. And so thankful and grateful for the church to make that possible and allow us to be able to invest in our first ministry. So thank you for that. And then also just on a personal spiritual level, I began this week a season of 21 days of prayer and fasting. This is something that I did in January, and I kind of tagged along with a church in Alabama that does this 21 days of prayer and fasting with their entire church, and they broadcast it to make it available for other folks. They do services, a 1-hour service every morning at 6 o'clock. And so it's something that I'm diving into. It was really beneficial in January and just really expectant for God to continue to refine, purify, clarify some things in me as a son, and not so focused on the other titles that I wear. So just ask that you be in prayer for me about that as I go into that journey. Switching gears to the ministry side, Jessica and I, August 1st and 2nd, we went to Indianapolis as a part of a regional gathering of the people in the Next Level Relational Network. If you'll remember, this is something that we joined in February of this year in response to me expressing to the board just some loneliness and a lack of relationships and friendships with lead pastors and lead pastor wives that are in in just kind of a similar boat, church planting and that kind of thing. And so really grateful to Kendall. I had expressed to him that the timing was really inconvenient. We weren't really sure if we were going on the trip, and he really pushed us that, we're never really gonna know if this is gonna be the answer to the problem if we're not really all in. And so thank you, Kendall, for pushing us to do that. It was a really good trip. It was a little awkward as we were the new kids on the block coming into relationships that have been established, some of them for several months up to several years in close relationship and connection. But it was still a really good trip, an opportunity to make some good connections. I don't know if we had a stepbrothers moment that we just became best friends with anybody, but we did make some really good connections and eager to continue to invest into that. Secondly, from a staffing update, I sent you kind of a long, hairy email about this, letting you know about the changes to the Dream Team Director role. We have officially brought Erica Opperman on, and she's doing a great job in her first couple of weeks of just becoming familiar and onboarding into what we've got going on. The hope is in the next couple of weeks that Jessica will be able to hand the vast majority of that stuff off to her, and she'll be able to, Jessica will be able to move into her creative director role, where she's going to really thrive there, and the church and the staff are really going to benefit from that. We are really close to being able to announce to you guys who our new First Impressions coordinator is going to be. We have a verbal commitment. We're just waiting on something in writing. Hopefully by the board meeting we have that, and I can share that with you. We have also decided to move up the timeline for the worship hire. After spending some time in prayer and discussion through that, felt like because that role is so critical from a culture standpoint, and carrying culture into the church at large, just felt like it would be better for us to get on that sooner than later. So Brian Opperman is driving this. Brian Stuchel and I are coming alongside of him and guiding the process. But in the next couple of weeks, we hope to have job description finalized and officially begin the process of looking for that. And the sooner we can get them on board, the better. It's going to be a part-time role. Still some question marks of exactly how the delineation of certain things from Brian to the part-time worship leader, what that's going to look like from a campus standpoint, but we're moving forward with that. And then we're also having conversations with Emily. We're really evaluating what the needs are as we hire, and we'll have 2 part-time kids roles. One will be a director, one will be a coordinator, where the director is really the point leader over our kids ministry. And we're just really spending some time in prayer and discussion with Emily about what's right and best for her, what's right and best for our church, as we move into this season. And so I would ask you guys just be in prayer as we navigate all of that. We want to get these hires right. I also want to make you aware, Dana Fink let me know 2.5 weeks ago that she has accepted a full-time position back at a bank. This has been a position that, as her position has morphed, it hasn't been a great fit for her. And it hasn't been the best fit for the need of the role either, as far as what gifts and skill sets and experience she brings to that role. And so there's been a lot of conversation about how do we position her for success? What are the needs of the role? And so that, in conjunction with, she expressed some things that from a personal standpoint, some financial goals that they were wanting to meet that they weren't able to meet. And she expressed a little bit of not feeling a great fit on a personal level. I think that had a lot to do with, and we talked quite a bit about this. I think the lion's share of that had to do with, she was the lone support staff member on staff where everyone else is a ministry staff position. And we work really hard to not create a tiered or hierarchical system with that. But the demands of ministry staff are just different than the demands of support staff. And so she felt kind of isolated and alone at times. So we've made some adjustments over the last year to help her feel more included and more involved. And she expressed gratitude with that, but it was still a challenge. And so anyway, the long story short of that is Dana has resigned. She is going to continue part-time at about 3 to 5 hours a week until we are able to backfill her position. And then obviously with her leaving, that has brought to the surface the need to backfill her position. And so we're praying for somebody that has an administrative bend and orientation, but also has some sort of accounting or bookkeeping experience to step into this role. So please be in prayer about that. If you know of anybody, please let Brian Stuchel know as he's leading the charge on that. And then on the third, shifting gears to an update on the campus, I've included to the email 2 documents. One is a single page overview of the timeline leading up to the launch. The second is in more detail. I want you guys to be in the know because I'm asking you guys to cover us in prayer, cover us in encouragement, cover us in support as we lean into this. There's a lot of decisions and a lot of things to happen really all across the board. And so I want y'all to be aware. I want you to have this in a place that would be readily available and visible to you, so that as you engage in your process of what you're praying for, I want to put these specific things in front of you so that you can kind of know as we're progressing what we're working on, what we're wrestling through, and what we're praying for the Lord to give us wisdom and clarity and direction on. So that's the video update. As always, feel free to let me know what questions or comments you have, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. As a little note, I also want to say, Chris, I don't know when you're going to see this, but man, we are praying for you as y'all are soon to welcome your new little bundle of joy into the world. And so, brother, know that we're praying for you. We're excited for you. And if there's anything that all we can do to be a blessing to you, just let us know. Love you guys. We'll see you Monday.